Put sugar on a rectal prolapse to suck up the moisture and push it back in. Kind of like salt on a snail, I guess. What you can't do is rub a Snickers bar on a rectal prolapse, hoping it'll go away. Everybody knows it's not easy to be a healthcare worker. Sometimes we make mistakes, we're only human. Today we are reading the silliest things healthcare workers have done while working in the hospital. My name is Stephen Ho, your favorite ER technician. Welcome back to the channel. Former EMT here. We were going over a training scenario with the strict instructor. He says, we arrive on scene, what is the first thing we do? One overly excited student answers, call 911. We all hold our breath. The instructor did a double take, stared the coldest stare, and said, are you stupid? You are 911. My friends, there are no stupid questions, but there are stupid answers. My paramedic partner and I accidentally threw away a guy's finger. Oh, that's not good. A gentleman cut off his finger using a saw, and when we arrived, a firefighter gave me plastic grocery bag that I thought was bloody gauze and trash. Oh no. I grabbed it and tossed it in our biohazard trash can. When we arrived at the hospital, I called the firefighter to ask what happened to the finger, and he insisted that he gave it to me. Whoops! The paramedic thought the fireman did it, the fireman thought the paramedic did it. It's a classic case of pointing fingers. Too soon?
I fucked up.
Oh, someone f***ed up. Damn! For those of you who don't know, that is a Foley bag. You see that liquid in there is urine. And that urine comes from a patient when we stick a tube in them, and that tube goes into this bag. This bag is usually hung on the gurney as we're transporting patients to different floors. And I guess this bag got caught in the elevator floor, which means the tube that is in the patient's urethra is probably yanked out, which is very painful. The way we get these things to stay in the urethra is that we blow a little hole at the end of the tube, and it keeps the tube from coming out. The balloon is pretty big compared to your urethra, and when it gets pulled out, there's usually a lot of blood. So yeah, someone f***ed up. Worst elevator ride ever. And wettest. I'm a genetic counselor at a prenatal clinic. One time we hired a new nurse who was, shall we say, not the brightest bulb. Okay, her job was just basic patient intake and rooming patients. Now, remember, this was a prenatal clinic. After working for us for more than a week, she suddenly realized, wait a second, are all of our patients pregnant? Yes, Jesus. Not the brightest bulb, you say. Seems like the bulb never turned on. This poor girl. She also worked at the vet, but was let go when she asked, when are we getting the human patients? Paramedic for 40 years, went to pick up this old man to transport him to the ER. As we carry the gurney up the spiral staircase, we find the 90-pound, 150-year-old patient in bed. Oh, 90 pounds, 150 years old. It's gotta be an exaggeration, but we'll continue. As we carried the gurney back down the spiral staircase, the patient slipped and spread eagle his balls to the face of my partner. He quit the next day. Okay, so if you don't know, that's terrible. A gurney, when you see the paramedics and EMTs show up, there are 2 to 3 seatbelts that should securely hold the patient down. I understand a spiral staircase is a very unique situation to be bringing a patient up and down with, but nonetheless, the patient should not have slipped out of the gurney and spread eagle and planted their testicles on the paramedic's face. Interestingly enough, usually for staircases, I don't know how old the story is, but we have what's called a stair chair that we can help patients get in and out of the house. And it's smaller, much easier. We basically sit the patient in a makeshift chair, strap them down, and we carry them down the stairs. It's much easier to extract a patient in a stair chair than it is a gurney. Maybe we try a stair chair next time. That poor paramedic. Nothing says 2 weeks notice like old balls to the face. Am I right? Patient was 150 years old. Hadn't gotten action like that since World War II. Good for grandpa.
I don't know if I can even tell this one with a straight face, but I was taking care of a patient and I had a med student. The patient came in with a rectal prolapse. Rectal prolapse is when your rectum turns inside out, sticks outside of the body. So the med student tried to push it back in. He couldn't get it back in and he asked me, what else can we do? And I told him, well, you need to find some sugar because we put sugar on a rectal prolapse, and when you do that, it draws out the fluid and you can push it back in. And so this is the middle whole night, and he tells me, well, the cafeteria's closed. You know, I don't know if I can find any sugar. I tell him, well, just go see what you can round up. So I go back to the room, and I'm trying to put the rectal prolapse back in the room. And guess what he walks back in the room with? I am not kidding. The Snickers bar. Imagine the look on the patient's face when we pull out a Snickers and we tell him we're going to fix his rectal prolapse with this. I mean, Snickers always satisfies, but I don't think that's what they meant.
All right, I learned something new. Put sugar on a rectal prolapse to suck up the moisture and push it back in. Kind of like salt on a snail, I guess. What you can't do is rub a Snickers bar on a rectal prolapse, hoping it'll go away. Good on the med student for trying. You asked for sugar? You're getting sugar. When we had a patient expire and we were so busy, nobody knew she passed. Well, anyway, her daughter comes to visit and finds mom dead in bed with oxygen still going on. Daughter comes out of the room and asks me, do you always leave them for the family to find? Whoops. No, we don't normally leave them for the families to find. We usually notice it first. What probably should have happened is the patient should be on a monitor hooked up to a central monitor at the main nurse's station. So we normally can see everybody's vital signs, heart rates, respirations, and blood pressures at the nurse's station. But it sounds like they were so busy that they may have missed it. You know how to fix this? Staff your hospitals. What a novel idea.
That sounds expensive.
In the ER, while working as a tech, I had a double above knee amputee who was being mean. He was screaming at everyone by the time I came in the room. He looks directly at me and says, what's stopping me from walking out of here? I said in my best Forrest Gump impression, Lieutenant Dan, you ain't got no legs. That's f***ed up. Thankfully, he started laughing, but I was pretty sure I would lose my job. Well, you know, a good joke can turn anything around, including a bad day. But yes, by far the most impressive thing I've seen in my life, pulling off a Forrest Gump impression in the ER and not getting fired. Good for you, sir. Oh, that's not good. The ambulance is right there, just give it back to them. You gotta know what to look for if this bag ever is left at your home, okay? You don't wanna take all the drugs that are on there, but you definitely want some of them. How many seconds do you think until that bag goes up on eBay? Finders keepers. I once had to chase an eyeball around the floor after it popped out when I removed a motorcycle helmet. I guess always double check the sockets. Yes. Good advice for electricians and healthcare workers working in the ER. Check the sockets. This patient probably had a motor vehicle accident that was very severe. I guess one of their eyes popped out. Always wear a helmet. Could have been worse. Could always be worse. Also, wash the eyeball. 5-second rules do not apply to body parts. Thank you for watching. If you're ever at the hospital and your healthcare worker makes a silly mistake, cut some slack. We're human too. I am currently on tour. Ticket links and dates are in my bio. I hope to see you at a comedy show, motherfucker. Please come and submit your stories. Goodbye.